Hello, welcome to the KSL Sportsbeat After Hours podcast. I am your host, Hema Jr., and joining me, as always, is the Internet Jesus himself, or Internet Jezebel, depending on who you talk to, Sean Walker.
I mean, everybody wants to be special, but I don't think we're that special.
No, thanks so much for having me on again. I'm glad I haven't been fired from this role, so thanks, Emma.
And then also joining us is our local, lovable Canuck, Zach.
Barry
Q.
Melrose himself.
Zach Q. Hicken.
Good to be here with you guys. Looking forward to our hockey podcast that we record every Sunday night, eh?
Speaking of, should we just get right into it?
Hey, let's just get right into it.
Dude, the Knights didn't play today. I was so disappointed.
I mean, you can make the argument, I think, that the Knights haven't played in the Western Conference Finals yet.
Yeah. But, I mean, I wanted to see them play. Because, as we all know, I've been a lifelong fan.
Lifelong fan.
For what we lovingly call VGK. And instead, we had to settle for a match between the
It was the Capitals and the Lightning.
The Capitals and the Lightning.
So, I mean, the Golden Knights played yesterday. They're down 1-0 in the series against Winnipeg. Kind of an interesting. I mean, I think I said this last week. The Las Vegas Golden Knights is the best story in sports right now. But it's been a long time since a Canadian team made the Stanley Cup Finals. So I think it would be really cool for those of us from the Great White North to see a homegrown team in the finals. So I mean, I'm definitely going for the Golden Knights, but I wouldn't be mad if the Jets made it to the finals. Definitely, I want the Capitals to go for the Eastern Conference, though, eh?
The Jets would be kind of cool just because it's freaking Winnipeg, right? It's none of the it's not the Canadians. It's not like any of the other bigger.
No, not the Maple Leafs.
Right.
I think Winnipeg would be a great option.
That'd be amazing. So for those of you listening, we have nothing to say really in the hockey world because VGK didn't play.
VGK just needs to step it up, eh? I mean, they play game 2 tomorrow. They're down one game to nothing. So if they can win tomorrow, then they'll be tied at one game apiece, eh? And they'll be celebrating with some Timmy Hortons. It's in Winnipeg, so I mean, I'm sure that there are 3 just in the parking lot, and
Tim Hortons.
Hey, it'll be enjoyable if they can get the win. That's all I have to say about that, eh?
Perfect.
Emma, most importantly, have you ever been to Timmy Ho's?
I haven't had the pleasure.
All right, we need to introduce you, I think, one of these days, because Tim Hortons is basically, so think of like, do you remember back in the day when Winchell's was a thing?
Sort of.
Like donuts and hot chocolate and coffee and all that good stuff. Yeah. So Timmy Hortons is like, I describe it my first experience. It's like Winchell's.
Okay.
But on steroids.
Okay.
Like I'm pretty sure it should be illegal. And they also make really good like breakfast sandwiches. Apparently in Canada, so I didn't get this one in upstate New York, but apparently in Canada they also serve poutine. Is that true? Can you confirm?
Yeah,
Resident
did you know
Canuck?
they actually also serve that at Costco? You can get it at Costco as well.
What is poutine? I've heard of it. I've never had it.
Poutine is the greatest food on the face of the planet. It is
French fries
confirm. With gravy with cheese curds. And let me tell you, it's the greatest combination. I've been eating it since I came out of the womb. I'm pretty sure that was the first meal I ate after I was born.
Okay.
In Medicine Hat.
Okay, so Tim Hortons.
Let me ask you. I know you're a Tooele guy. Do you ever make it down to the Provo area?
I do. I'm gonna be honest. I try to avoid Provo as much as I
don't
can.
blame you. Provo's an awful city. Sorry for those of our listeners that are in Provo.
Oh, man. Well, there goes like half our listenership.
Bye,
guys.
Bye, guys. In Provo, and let me tell you, I haven't gone to Provo since I graduated from that university.
You mean
in Provo?
Provo State College?
Yes, Provo State College.
Okay.
Just
making sure.
There's a restaurant on Provo Center Street, right across the street from that Provo Temple, that big red brick building.
Okay.
It's called Station 22. It's like Southern comfort food.
I've seen it.
I know where this is going.
They have poutine there, and it is fantastic. They have great gravy. Their cheese is good, and the fries are to die for. So if you ever find yourself in Provo, cheer up that trip by making your way to Station 22 and getting the poutine.
Okay, that's on my list.
It should be mentioned. Station 22, not a sponsor. Not a sponsor. Yet. You guys are listening. Call us.
Just drop by some poutine.
Station 22, not a sponsor, but I can confirm very good poutine. Also, if you're not a poutine guy, Station 22 is still a great place for some chicken and waffles.
Really?
Great chicken and
waffles.
waffles.
Great chicken and waffles. I also get the Memphis chicken sandwich. It's a hot Memphis. It's not a dry chicken sandwich. It's a wet chicken sandwich, like hot barbecue sauce on top of it. It's really good as well. And they have good red cabbage. The vinegar on it's good.
We must be starving because we're talking about food. Because I also thought, okay, that's good, right? Okay, Station 22. I have a long list of places that I need to get to that are in Provo. I haven't tried Yummy's yet. Have you heard of this place?
I haven't heard of Yummy's.
Yummy's is like just opened. It's a Korean barbecue place.
Ooh.
You guys ever had Korean barbecue?
I've had that cup bop place.
Okay.
I'm going to stop talking like a Canadian. Sorry.
Just talk normal because we're going to talk baseball in a minute. No, Yummy's is like Korean barbecue. And basically what Korean barbecue is that you sit at this table. Me and my wife 4 years ago went to Seoul for fun. We went for like 2 weeks, I think, or maybe a week and a half.
Individuals do just go travel outside of the country for fun.
Yeah, before we had kids, let me just tell you, we used to fly all over the place, and then that just stopped. But Korea was one of our favorite places, and we had.
Hema, do you want to mention to our listeners what you do for a living, just so they don't get the wrong idea?
Oh yeah, I'm a millionaire. I make millions and millions of dollars.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Thank you.
I work at the airport part time for.
And by work he means owns.
For a certain company, a large company. That affords us.
That's also not a sponsor.
That's also not a sponsor.
Used to be the sponsor of where the Jazz play, though.
Right.
No, still not a sponsor. Don't go there. Still not a sponsor.
I still call it that place.
Sponsor.
I don't call it Vivint Smart Home Arena. I still call it the that place
Blank
center. Anyways, we went to Korea. We had legit Korean barbecue. You sit at a table, and in the middle is like this coal fire pit, that really small fire pit. Then they put like a grill over on top, and they give you all this raw meat, and you cook it yourself, and it's phenomenal. It's freaking delicious. Yummy's is a new place in Provo that is legit Korean barbecue, or so I've heard. I haven't been there yet. It's on my list, as well as Station 22.
Well, my.
Let's stop talking about food because I'm
Don Joaquin down there's really good. I just
man, shouts to all those places. Can't wait to eat at you. For reals.
Guys, I think after that latest food segment, we earned that achievement.
We haven't talked food, have we? We talked about Timmy Hortons. Haven't been there. It's kind of so. Is it like a Dunkin' Donuts basically?
Better.
Oh, okay. I'm sure it's better. That's what I'm familiar with.
On
steroids.
Dunkin's
Probably
steroids.
the closest thing that anyone would be familiar with. I mean, we don't really have many Dunkins in Utah.
We don't anymore. Yeah.
But I guess like Utahns are kind of familiar with like Krispy Kreme or like Starbucks. I guess is like the big chain, but like you don't go get donuts at Starbucks just mainly for coffee.
So that's my frame of reference. I kind of grew up when I was little. I lived in San Diego for a long time. We went to Dunkin' Donuts all the time, so that's kind of my frame of reference. But Tim Hortons sounds better. It almost to me sounds like Sean. Maybe you can chime in on this one. Wawa's. You've been to a Wawa before?
Years ago.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, my cousins out in Philly, like whenever I go visit them, it's Wawa like every day. And I kind of imagine that's kind of similar. Like it's like a gas station, but also they have like phenomenal food and like donuts and coffee and
interesting
stuff like that.
No, I think between the three of us, we're pretty well traveled. I think we could definitely get a regular food segment on our podcast.
I would love that, honestly. Talk about food. My mic just went out. Talk about food, traveling. We could definitely do that.
Food, baby.
Let's talk about eating poutine.
Let's end that.
All right, let's not sing anymore because we don't want to get flagged by like YouTube or something for copyright infringement.
But we have nothing to talk about. I mean, the Jazz are done, right?
Dunzo.
It was a great, phenomenal season. If we wrapped it up really quickly, what would you guys take away from this season overall?
I mean, really just a season to remember in so many ways. I mean, obviously from before the start of the year with the stay word campaign and then the bye-bye word, the so long word, the Jazz drafting Donovan Mitchell obviously was a big deal. I mean, right all the way up through training camp, there were all sorts of storylines. It's really funny because we were actually having a conversation with another one of our producers off air with McKay. Shout out to McKay.
Shouts to McKay. He makes some killer video segments that are on air.
Shout out to McKay, but I was talking with McKay about how he took most of last week off. Not last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, last week, whatever. Right at the very end of the Jazz playoff run, and I was making fun of him because I was like, how do you take off, in the middle of the playoffs, like in Salt Lake in an NBA market, blah blah blah. He goes, well, when I put in for this time off, the Jazz were in the middle of like a 14-game losing streak or whatever in the Western Conference, and like nobody thought they were ever going to make the playoffs. And then all of a sudden, there was talk about like, oh yeah, the Jazz could be like the 3 seed out of the West, like it's totally doable. Obviously they didn't, but they lost to Portland in that final week, and then they were the 6 seed, and then the 5 seed, and then they looked like the 4 seed the way they just thumped Oklahoma City. And so, I mean, this season was so special, I think, just because it had a little bit of everything. I mean, it feels like a lifetime. Like
it had like low lows and like high highs. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a big takeaway for me.
I agree. I think what the Jazz did this year is they established a foundation that they can build on going forward, a foundation that people thought was torn down when Gordon Hayward left in free agency on July 4th last year. I mean, there's so much to look forward to with this team. The majority of the building blocks, I mean, the only person that we're really not sure about that is kind of a mainstay not coming back is Derek Favors, because he hits unrestricted free agency, but potentially there are
so fire up that jet. Fire up that jet for D-Fave.
He's going to get paid.
Just FaceTime.
Just FaceTime him.
I think you're right.
Joe Ingles.
We do have a bright future to look forward to. I recently, this past, Saturday, I shot one of the Jazz pre-draft workouts. Guess who was there, guys? It was Utah's very own Elijah Bryant. BYU, not Utah. Utah, the state, right?
Straight out of Gwinnett, Georgia.
Yeah, straight out of Georgia. Dante DiVincenzo, which is crazy.
The racist basketball player from Villanova.
He is not the big red
Dante's dude. Inferno himself.
It's just the Jazz have so much hope coming out of the season that it was really cool to see those guys playing, working out. If you remember, the Jazz was one of the first teams that Donovan Mitchell worked out with before he got drafted.
So you mean to tell me that the Jazz might draft a white perimeter guy who got really hot in the national championship?
30 a game or so, right? Or 30 that game.
That sounds kind of familiar. What, 7 years ago that? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
I'd be okay with this.
No, I would be.
I would like it known that I would be okay with this.
If he falls to the Jazz, that'd be great.
Amazing. I mean, it would be sad. I think Favors is on his way out. We're gonna have to get rid of a couple more guys, I think. I don't know. Depends on what Dennis Lindsey has.
I think there are 3 team options that are coming up. I know Jonas Jerebko's one.
Joe Ingles has an option of some kind, technically, I think.
Okay, I was.
But he said that he wants to come back.
Yeah, they all look like they want to come back. Yeah, even Jonas.
I don't think there's anybody that really wants to leave. Like, I don't even think Derek Favors necessarily wants to leave. Although I think all the talk is that he's probably the closest to wanting to leave. Maybe on this team.
Derek Favors is gonna have better options.
Yeah, but I don't even think he's like, get me out of here, get me out of here, by any stretch of the imagination.
I think he likes it.
So I love Derek Favors. I think that he's been here in Utah for 7 years now, and I mean, I guess the fear with him.
Greatest trade for Darren Williams ever.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, hot take.
Darren who?
Thank you. I mean, Duran.
So I guess with with Derek, what Jazz fans are probably realizing now, he just doesn't really pair very well with Rudy on the floor just because he doesn't really have a perimeter game. The Jazz need someone who can kind of stretch it out at that 4 position. Jay Crowder is getting the minutes down the stretch that Favors normally would. And Favors has better options where he can go and play kind of a traditional 5 role outside of Utah. There are places on the open market where he's going to be able to get a little bit more money. I'm sure that there are teams that will see him as a top flight free agent, pay him, and he's going to get more playing time as a traditional 5, and he's going to put up better numbers. He's a guy that if he's healthy for the next several years, I could see him making an all-star game. He has that type of potential, and I just feel like because of Rudy Gobert, he's kind of been limited a little bit.
Absolutely. Okay, let's talk about, since we're talking about the future, who's going to come in? Is it going to be a draft? Are we going to work up a trade? Are we going to sign one of these free agents coming out? Is LeBron coming to Utah?
LeBron word.
LeBron
word. Make the billboards happen, fan. I want the GoFundMe by tomorrow afternoon. LeBron word. LeBron word. Make it happen.
Yeah. Obviously, that's
I don't know. Two names I've seen pop up among Jazz Twitter. Number 1 is Jabari Parker.
Oh, yes.
LDS kid.
Please.
He's kind of been
Hema's cousin.
Plagued a little bit by injuries. Milwaukee offered him a buyout, I think, right before the playoffs started this year. And he said that it wasn't enough. So I think that those two teams, they're just going to go their separate ways. He was supposed to be everything that Giannis is, and the spotlight's gone. Giannis has it. So he's going to be on the open market. It's just my prediction. Another great option. This is a little less likely, but Paul George.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
If he doesn't go to LA.
I mean, that's just
if he doesn't go to LA,
Jazz fans are just saying, like, that should be the number 1 priority this offseason for a free agent, which, I mean, how could you disagree with that?
That's
He's one of the best two-way players in the league besides Kawhi.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if many of you listened to David Locke's podcast. There were some fans tweeting and asking him, hey, how realistic is it the Jazz could get Kawhi? And his response was, well, do you want to give up either pick between Rudy and Donovan who you want to give up to get Kawhi? And
it's true.
So, I mean, there's a lot of dreams that people are putting out there, but
let me tell you one of my dirty
Paul
dreams.
George should just before you go. Paul George actually, I mean, the Jazz could put together a pretty attractive offer for Paul George, and I don't think it's likely that he ends up here. He's probably going to go to LA, but
sure.
Why not make the pitch?
I freaking would love it, just off the top of my head, if Dame Dalla came back to Utah. He won't. I know it's unrealistic. We don't need him necessarily. I know that, but just to see him in a Jazz uniform would be freaking.
You mean
dope.
to tell me the Jazz don't need an all-star guard?
We don't need
they don't
another
need an
one.
all-star to run the point.
Well, that would be sweet. We'd lose Rubio. We'd have.
They still have another year of Rubio.
Okay, but I mean, he wouldn't play if Dame comes, right? He wouldn't come. Because could we afford him? Probably not. Even if it was realistic. But I freaking love Dame, and I wish he was over here.
He had a rap song about coming back to Utah. How was his dream?
What?
When he played at Weber State to play for the Jazz.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, we're getting everyone way too excited. Everyone that listens to this podcast is getting too excited thinking about this. Now, none of this is very likely. In all reality, the Jazz probably end up signing Favors again, and the team's probably pretty similar structure-wise to how the year finished. I mean, I could see 2 or 3 guys going.
Just hopefully get more healthy. Maybe get more depth from a draft pick or something.
And realistically, I mean, the Jazz are an organization. Sorry to cut you off there, Zach.
No, you're fine.
But the Jazz are an organization, and they know this, that they're in a market where they're kind of need to do that. Like, bring up guys through the draft, through development, maybe some G League guys that they can pull up. Maybe swing some unwanted type guys
or get guys
in
later
free
in their
agency.
That have families.
Yeah. or that kind of thing. So I mean, but I think their track record has shown that like those are the types of guys that Dennis Lindsay and co really want to bring in and really want to try to make happy and kind of revitalize their career. I mean, look how good Ricky Rubio was down the stretch for the Jazz, and how he was being begged to be given away by Minnesota. I mean, like that's the perfect example, really, of the type of player that the Jazz that I think are probably going to keep going to try to take, if I phrase that right. And I think it's fine. Like, I think it's worked out for so long that I don't think you can really doubt it. So.
I think you're right. And I also think, just to close it off here, is like, we don't need like some big money, like crazy player. We can draft somebody. I'm fully confident that Dennis Lindsay has his eyes on somebody, that he's going to draft somebody.
Just don't get the
for
next
nothing.
Trey Lyles.
Sure.
Get a guy who actually likes to practice
Right.
and do his freaking job.
Culture is important, like Sean said. And guys, this like draft class coming up is got a lot of good players. So I think we'll be okay.
Just remember Elijah Bryant, who did work out for the Jazz last weekend. You guys mentioned he did play prep school ball with Donovan Mitchell.
He's not getting drafted.
I'm just saying.
He's not getting drafted.
I'm just saying.
He'll get
He's
signed.
gonna have a great year.
This audio is going to be clipped and attached to Cougar Board by the morning.
Please do. I love that idea.
Hefe, I'm talking to you. I know you listen to this, Hefe. You know what you're talking about.
So Elijah Bryant, obviously a great player coming out of BYU. Let's move on to the greatest player to walk on RSL's pitch, right? The one and only Nick Rimando. Zach, you can check out if you want, or you can chime in.
Take a bathroom break.
RSL won by, well, it was 3-2, right? But we scored 3 goals, guys. I was pretty stoked about that. We needed a win. It's been a while since we.
You know who else has scored 3 goals on this season and 3 goals in his MLS career?
Who's that?
Okay, I want to get to Nick Rimando in a second because he is the GOAT, the greatest of all time, greatest MLS goalkeeper of all time, who has never actually won Goalkeeper of the Year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should talk about that.
We will.
But 3 goals, tied for the team high on the season, 3 goals in his career now. Cory Baird.
Yes.
The rookie sensation out of Escondido, California, played 4 years at Stanford, won 3 national championships.
Shouts to Stanford. Go Cards.
Right? Go Cards. Hema's in here in studio. We'll put this on our Instagram later.
Oh, yeah.
He's
wearing
rocking
a Stanford shirt.
Yeah, he's rocking his Stanford shirt. Shout out to Houston.
Shouts to Lowe, also from Stanford.
Yeah, but Cory Baird comes in his first season, and this was a kid. He was a homegrown signing, and I think a lot of RSL people, a lot of RSL fans in particular, but even maybe some front office people kind of thought, oh, this is a homegrown signing. Like, he's probably going to get called up every here and there, but realistically, he's a little bit of a project player, off the bench, get a lot of time with the Monarchs, kind of develop, and RSL sees what happens down the road. He hasn't done that at all. He's basically cemented himself as a full-time starter he's barely, I think, 21 or 22 years old.
Crazy.
Right now. He's scoring goals like crazy. His connection with Albert Rusnak is insane. He scores the equalizing header against DC United after RSL falls behind 1-0 early. And I think this kid is the story of, no offense to Nick. Again, we'll get to him in a second.
Right.
But I think this kid is really the story of RSL season so far in this season. Just how much of an impact he's made immediately. And by the way, shameless plug, if you want to read more about Cory Baird and his story and his love of Fortnite, head on over to KSL.com right now, where some guy I know posted a nice little wrap-up of his early season career so far.
Yeah, the RSL
was that shameless enough?
Pretty
that was
talented.
great.
Was that shameless enough?
Great. All right, so on to the GOAT.
Yeah, but the GOAT. So Nick Rimando recorded his 200th win in MLS play Saturday night at Rio Tinto Stadium. Really quick before we move on, here are just a couple comments from Rimando with RSL sideline reporter Samantha Yarrick.
I have no idea.
Yarrick. Sam, hit us up at KSL Sports on Twitter. If we mispronounce your name, I promise we'll correct it by the next pod. But yeah, this was Nick briefly after the match.
You know, sometimes these milestones, these awards, when they're hanging on that low leaf, they take a while to get to. So I'm happy this one came a little bit quicker than the other ones. And again, the 3 points is huge. To put this, in the backside now and to focus towards the rest of the season is the most important right now.
Good old Nick.
Yeah, so there's Nick Rimando. This is a guy who owns pretty much every major statistical goalkeeping record in MLS history. And he's never won any type of MVP award. He's never won MLS Goalkeeper of the Year. He has somehow.
He has the best PK percentage.
Yeah, he's an incredible PK stopper, and he just keeps winning and winning. And yet, Mike Pecky before the match, as they're getting ready to go into the tunnel and walk out and yada yada, pregame pep talk, let's go rah rah rah. Right? He goes, hey, let's get 3 points for the team and let's get 200 for Nick. And Nick kind of turned away from the huddle, and he was like, nah, guys, nah. Like, that's just who he is.
That's really
cool. That's just who Nick Rimando is. He's just like, no, don't focus on me. Like, I'm fine. I'm just a keeper, guys. Like, what? I'm just a short keeper. Like, it was awesome. If you haven't seen the video put out right now, RSL put it on their Twitter feed, MLS put it on their Twitter feed. A bunch of people around the league kind of gave their props to Nick.
That's cool.
Benny Feldhaber, Graham Zusi, Preki, current Seattle Sounders assistant coach. Preki was in there. Just a bunch of guys.
That's
Carlos Bocanegra, who played with Nick on the national team. All just giving him props. Really cool video. Really cool to see just how respected this guy is. And yet from talking with him, from ever meeting him, from ever just like any sort of interview, or even just like man on the street setting, because he's been known to go downtown to a bar named Sue and just hang out.
Yeah.
You would never know that this is arguably the greatest MLS goalkeeper of all time, because he's just this humble, down-to-earth kid who likes to take his son to soccer matches on the weekend.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So
shout out
to Nick.
Saint
That's awesome.
Nick. All right, let's move along. I have to tell you guys something. I did not see Infinity War yet. I know that's my bad. I said last week that I would see it. I didn't have any time to see it this week. I was busy with family stuff. I also, did I show you guys the picture of my daughter and how, so yesterday my 3-year-old dumped a gallon of paint all over a bedroom floor, and so now the carpet's ruined. But then not only did he spill paint all over the place, my 9-month-old daughter started eating it, picking it up with her hands and eating it. It's great. I'll show you the pictures in a little bit.
This has been Adventures in Parenting with Hema Junior.
So I didn't see Infinity War, but I did see freaking Black Panther finally.
Took you long enough.
I know. I'm sorry. Adventures in #parenting also.
Well, let's move back. Let's move back to movies in a little bit, because I'm actually really glad you brought up that story, Hema, a little Adventures in Parenting, because I want to pivot to
You're
a
having
special.
a kid?
Yeah, I'm pregnant. First of all, I'm pregnant. Very exciting news. And second of all, it's important that I announce that I'm pregnant on today, because I don't know if you guys realize this, but today's Mother's Day. So,
Happy Mother's Day to all our mothers.
Yeah, so happy Mother's Day to the people who birthed you. Shout out to moms everywhere. Shout out to Hema's mom. Shout out to Zach's mom. Shout out to my mom, who's the GOAT, the Nick Rimando of mothers, as they say. Not that I might be biased. Am I biased? I'm not biased there. I'm a journalist. I'm not biased. #fake news. So in honor of Mother's Day, I wanted to kick off a little discussion with your guys, and I know Hema's got the best mom, and Zach's got the best mom.
Right.
And I've got the best mom. But we all have kind of favorite TV moms, or pop culture moms, maybe movie moms, even moms in popular media, if you will. Kind of that woman that you think of when you think of mother, and I don't know, maybe it's somebody who helped raise you on the television, or just somebody that you think of in mom out there. So I want to kind of go around the table,
okay,
and talk about our favorite quote unquote TV moms. And I'm gonna use the term TV mom here, but it can be it can be a little bit broader than that. It can be from a movie. It can be from basic pop culture. But I want to kind of keep it in that vein.
Okay.
If you will.
So who's gonna go first, Zach?
Sure.
Yeah, so let's start with the resident Canuck.
Okay, I'll go with Lois from Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's good.
And
That's
this
good.
isn't an indictment on how my mom is, because my mom is the complete opposite of Lois. Lois is a hothead. My mom is like the most calm and like loving person that I know.
Okay.
I mean, she does have her temper sometimes, but she's nowhere near Lois. But I just thought that Hal and Lois were just like, I thought that they were
Lois
such
is
a great
awesome.
TV couple. I thought that even though like technically Malcolm was the star of the show, like I think all the best moments came from Hal and Lois, and I think Hal. And if we're gonna transition to TV dads, I know this is coming up next month. Hal's the best TV dad there is.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're all really just looking for that relationship like Hal and Lois, I think. Like before Malcolm in the Middle, I feel like I cut you off, so I apologize. But I feel like before Malcolm in the Middle, like TV families had an element of perfection. And like they weren't always perfect, and like that's why we loved watching them. You know, I'm thinking of like the Family Matters, Step by Step, Full House types of the world.
Yeah.
Where like things weren't like totally perfect, but they still had kind of that perfect element. Like Hal and Lois and Malcolm in the Middle were the first like truly real mom and dad family dynamic.
They were a low income family who were like they were on the border of poverty. Like it's just it was so relatable, and I mean I grew up in a middle class home, but like, you know, it's not like my family had money to go around. We were pretty well off, but you know, it's not like we were getting all this new stuff or getting cool things or living in downtown San Francisco in a house that's $6 million. You know, and the other thing too is as it wasn't a traditional sitcom, like a multicam sitcom, it wasn't life's problems aren't solved in 30 minutes or less.
Right.
They had problems that carried over, problems that were never solved, problems that just went on for years and years and years before they were solved. And
problem children at that. Looking at you, Reese. Looking at you.
So can I share my favorite Lewis? Do you have a Lewis quote that you want to share?
Oh, I have like a favorite Lois moment. Like my favorite one maybe is it's in the first season. I want to say it's like episode 5 or 6. There's so many great Lois moments though, because like I had about 10 just pop into my mind after I was saying that it's my favorite. The whole thing with like her, I think it's episode 5 of season 1. Her dress gets started on fire, and so it gets put in the toilet, and so she like interrogates the children and like as a group. Then she takes them one by one and tries all these different tactics, borderline tortures them, tries to soften them up with some soda, and it turns out that it was Hal who was smoking a cigar, accidentally put it out on the dress, started the dress on fire, and put it in the toilet.
Oh man.
Where she thought that the kids, you know, were playing with fireworks or something like that. Other great moments with her. The season finale of season 1 where her and Hal have like just this romantic getaway plan for their family vacation to a water park, and they're drinking rum out of the spray or the self tanner, the body lotion bottle,
just squirting into their mouths.
And then it transitions in the first episode of season 2 where they get stuck in traffic because Hal's being a jerk to this guy, and Lois, being the controlling person she is like frustrated that like they can't open up one lane of traffic, and so she tries to get in the crane and like forces the crane out and just makes herself look like a buffoon. But the dynamic with her and Craig is such a great TV character as well. I mean, that show,
Craig.
I don't think I've ever been so upset as when that show was taken off Netflix, because that was like that and The Office were my 2 go-to shows that even if I had like if I was studying, if I was working on a project and I wanted to have some background noise, if I'm going to sleep and I want some background noise, those were the 2 shows I went to for 8+ years, and they're both off Netflix.
Yeah, man. That's okay.
Well, sorry,
Shout out to Lois.
Shout out to Lois.
Shout out to Lois.
Okay, just real quick. My favorite quote is Dewey. She makes Dewey pour his own milk for cereal, and Dewey says, but Mom, my milk is lumpy. Oh, she says, drink all your milk. Oh, I just ruined it. She's like, drink all your milk. And he's like, but my milk is lumpy. And she's like, so chew it.
Oh, it was the when they were too poor, she quit her job. And they had like the homemade milk that they had to like mix with water. Yeah, that was
it's
nasty stuff.
Yeah, great. That was a great quote. I kind of wanted to throw it back. Okay, so I'll go next. Kind of to segue over to it. Do you know who sings the theme song for Malcolm in the Middle? Quick pop quiz question.
They also sing the song, and like I said, guys, I've seen this a lot, so you guys are just like, holy crap, Zach knows a lot about Malcolm in the Middle. They're also the people that sing the song in the episode where Hal goes and gets the Porsche, and like they pull the Porsche up to the driveway.
Yes, no,
yes,
maybe.
You found it, so you know who sings it. Sean found it. Anybody know the answer? If you're listening now, tweet at us and you can. Are we gonna listen to the whole thing? Yeah. It's
Anything?
Go ahead, Sean.
Anything?
Reveal it.
Anything?
It. What? Who was it, Sean?
No, I don't actually know. I'm just
how'd you find
I
it?
actually did know this. I knew this.
Okay. They Might Be Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great band. So this kind of goes into like a mom that I really liked. Let me just play a little
Who
bit.
might be a giant?
No. It's in the same era. It's from a band called Fountains of Wayne. I don't know if you guys remember those guys. But
I know where this is going.
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
This is my favorite mom from pop culture, okay? Oh, do you want to play the song? Can you find it? We could edit this so that it pops right up. Or
That
whatever.
music video was phenomenal, by the way.
Yes.
Between let's talk about music about moms. That and Mrs. Robinson are like just like the two
That's true.
ultimate like, hey, this is a hot mom, and there's like a term that you can use for that. I don't know if we can use it.
I don't think we can either.
Do we have to put an explicit tag on if we use it?
Whoa, this isn't it.
Some advertisement first.
Oh.
Yeah, this is an ad. Sorry, guys.
I'm like, it would go really well with this mom, I guess.
Yeah.
This is my pop culture mom.
We don't even have a real name for Stacy's mom.
No,
Yeah, it's just Stacy's mom.
It's just Stacy's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what more name do you need?
I can see the reflection of the music video on Sean's glasses.
Oh man.
Yeah,
This
it's so
song.
good.
How old were you, Zach, when the song came out?
I know I was in 4th grade the first time I heard it. I remember this.
Okay, we're gonna quit that before we get flagged on
Right,
YouTube.
right.
This is an actual like really really odd like memory of mine, but it's one that's very vivid. My cousins and I were going up to Park City to stay at some ski resort, and I remember on our way up the canyon, they had some CD that had Stacy's mom on it, and we listened to it the whole way up. And by the end of that trip, I had that song memorized, and I still to this day love.
Yeah.
Fountains of Wayne and Stacy's mom.
That's awesome. Fun fact. Do you guys know who Stacy's mom was in the music video?
Oh, God, Hema, you're just making us look bad with all these
No.
pop culture references.
So, I knew this. I had to refresh myself, but it's Rachel Hunter's her name. She's a model. She's from New Zealand. Do you guys know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah. So, a little Polynesian boop tidbit for you guys. Stacy's mom, probably my pick for my pop culture mom.
That's a good one.
Sean, who's yours?
I don't know if I can top that, guys. I don't know if I can top that because we've gone a little bit oldish school back to the 90s with Zach's pick, and then we went to kind of the mid-aughts there with Hema's pick. Mid-aughts? How
Yeah.
old is that? I
No,
think that was mid-aughts, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm thinking 2000,
I think it was about 2002
Or
to
early
2004.
aughts? Early aughts? Was it
Okay.
early aughts?
probably early odds.
Early to mid-aughts. I'm going to go kind of new school with my pick. Also kind of old school. Because this mom is... I don't think she gets enough credit for the momming that she does. And she's kind of representative of a large section of moms out there that I want to give a shout out to. Not necessarily indicative of like my situation, but I'm talking about single moms everywhere doing what they can, kind of having to be mom and dad. So shout out to the single moms. And this mom, one of my favorite moms currently, although I didn't fall in love with her when she was a mom, I will say that. But one of my favorite moms currently, she's the mom of Jackson, Max, and Tommy. And of course, I'm talking about the one, the only, Donna Joe Margaret Fuller Tanner.
Oh my
AKA DJ Tanner, AKA DJ Tanner Fuller from Full House / Fuller House.
Wow.
The Netflix reboot of the popular
Interesting.
90s family drama Full House. Candace
Cameron.
Yeah, Candace Cameron Bure. First of all, great actress. Love you, Candace. If you're listening to this, call me.
Isn't her husband's a hockey player?
Also
What?
true,
Yeah.
but
I
still,
think he plays for the Capitals.
but he can call me too.
Oh, you would know that.
I'll get his permission. It's fine. Like, I'll totally get his permission to, like, take her out to dinner.
Dude, for
or
a second, I thought you
something.
were going to go with Topanga from Boy Meets World.
Oh, that's a good one. Does she mom?
could've been a
though?
good one.
Oh,
That could've been
in
good.
boy
Yeah,
in Girl Meets World.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that could have been a good one. But no, here's the reason why I went with DJ. Because first of all, I kind of grew up on Full House.
Okay.
There were no moms in that show. It was a show about a single dad, which is also super cool. But I feel like there's a little bit of a stigma still in our society about single parents and kind of what they are and what they can and can't do. And I just love these sort of for lack of a better term, kind of the ballsy way a lot of them go about their business, you know, having to be mama, having to be dad, having to do a little bit of everything, support a family, raise a family, cook a dinner while also making ends meet a lot of the time. And I feel like DJ Tanner or DJ Tanner Fuller really does that well. Like Fuller House, I love Fuller House. Full disclosure, love Fuller House. I know that's not popular for Full House fans, but I feel like it does a great job of kind of actually rebooting the series and putting it into a modern context. Full House was so good because it epitomized the 90s in so many ways.
Right.
Fuller House now really epitomizes kind of the 20 teens in so many ways with things like smartphones and social media. And one of my favorite quotes that DJ has in the series, she's talking about her oldest son, Jackson, who's going into high school. And she says, don't you guys be ridiculous. I'm just watching what he does all the time without his knowledge. Because she just put an app on his smartphone that lets her track where he is at all times. By the way, real app.
What?
Mildly creepy, but that's neither here nor there. So yeah, so my big shout out goes out to single moms everywhere, DJ Tanner Fuller, and that group.
Well, I feel like a jerk. You guys have like serious moms with like serious mom qualities, and I picked the hot mom that everyone
You did
wanted.
too, though.
Dude, that's totally fine. I mean,
I have. Hold on. Let's hold on.
By the way, Fuller House wasn't bad. I liked it. And from a producer standpoint, it was really clever how they went from Full House to Fuller House,
yeah,
changing her name to Fuller.
yeah.
They're great.
No,
Just-
it's actually really. I enjoyed it. I haven't watched after the first season, but it was fun. I mean, Hema, if you want to do choice, have you guys seen or heard of the new series on YouTube Red, Cobra Kai?
No, I want to see that though.
So this is just kind of a quick transition into this. I watched it this weekend. I watched all 10 episodes in one day.
Oh my gosh.
I watched them all last night. I stayed up, and I mean we're up late tonight. It's 1:08. I was up until 2:30 last night watching this series. And
I gotta hold on,
so
because I
well done.
gotta give you a shout out right there for that.
Okay.
I've unlocked the binge mode the binge watching achievement.
Binge mode, dude.
Sorry, that's the name of another podcast.
Which we both love.
Yeah,
by the
no,
way.
that's impressive. So congratulations, that's well done.
Yeah,
Very
let
well
me just
done.
kind of go briefly, just say something briefly about that show. I mean, single mom, Daniel LaRusso's mother.
Oh my gosh.
She makes an appearance in the show. So I mean, I was gonna say that you could pick her, but if you guys haven't checked it out yet, and that includes our listeners,
That's on my list.
watch it. It is so good. It's on YouTube Red. It is a paid subscription service, but you can get a free 1-month trial with your Gmail account. episodes are about 25 minutes each. It's a really quick watch, and if you've seen the original Karate Kid and you love the original Karate Kid, it is very true to that. I mean, it has both Billy Zabka and
Ralph
Macchio in it.
You mean How
And
I
it
Met
makes
Your
it
Mother
more-
legend, Billy Zabka.
Yes.
Yeah.
The real hero.
The real
Of the
hero
he's the
of the
Karate
Karate Kid.
Billy Zabka's the Karate Kid. I think that's the best running joke.
Oh my gosh, that theory joke. Yes. Wait, go on. Go on.
no, I think
the
that's
the
most-
actual
And
protagonist.
they actually, there's a moment. I mean, hashtag mile spoiler alert. There is kind of a way that they kind of play with that. They don't bring up Barney in any way, but they kind of, paint. There's a portion in the show where Billy Zabka paints himself as the protagonist of the Karate Kid, where he's like, "Hey, some punk kid came to New Jersey moved from New Jersey and tried to steal my girlfriend. What do you think I'm supposed to do?"
Right.
And
I love
so,
Can't wait
That's
to
good.
watch it.
That's good.
10 out of 10, recommend it.
I might need to
Watch
sign
it.
up for
It's
YouTube
awesome.
Red just
do
to
it.
watch
You can
this
the
series.
first 2 episodes without it. Watch it, feel it out. You're gonna love Billy Zabka. His performance is phenomenal. He brings back the Cobra Kai dojo. It's awesome.
So great.
That's pretty amazing. No, I've been.
Strike first, strike hard, and have no mercy, guys.
Guys, I think we should sweep the leg on this podcast. How long have we been rolling for?
We're about 40 minutes. into
Only
it,
only
right?
like 45 minutes.
Oh, were we going? Were we
Yeah,
really
we're
going for an
fine.
hour and a half?
We're fine.
Okay,
Oh.
we're gonna go an hour. Let's do it.
We could go. I mean, we could go however long you guys want. Because guess what, guys? This is the internet. Who cares?
Right. And it's after hours, so we do what we want.
Yeah, and on the after hour show we do what we want. But no, I really like that that little hot take, Cobra Kai. I'm gonna have to check this one out.
Yeah, I'm gonna
So
check it out.
thank you, Zachary Higgin, for that recommendation. Guys, I think we need some Twitter response. Anybody listening to this, tweet us at KSL Sports on Twitter. Let us know your favorite TV mom, TV/pop culture mom, but we're calling them
And
TV
keep it
moms.
clean, guys. Keep it
Yeah,
clean.
and make sure to keep it clean. We don't want to have to ban you.
Tweet us at Rod Zundell.
Yeah, if you have a dirty mom reference, tweet at JJ Sportsbeat.
Yes.
Oh, no.
No,
You guys
please
can't
don't
do
send that to JJ.
Come on, he's a married man. He has his own favorite
His children
mom.
are going to pick up his
You can
phone when
send
they
it to
read
at
those.
Rod Zundell.
He will appreciate these, I guarantee you.
Yeah, and for all the clean hashtag TV moms, your favorites, tweet us at KSL Sports. We'll give a retweet to our favorites.
Let's do it.
I'm going to promise that. We'll retweet our favorites. Use the hashtag TV moms. Give us your favorite TV mom. Why she's your favorite TV mom. Whether it's whether you're a Malcolm in the Middle fan, or a Fountains of Wayne fan, or a Full House fan, or even a Karate Kid fan. Whatever it is. Happy Mother's Day to y'all.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Oh. Let's wrap it up, I guess. I have nothing else to talk about. Not much happened in the sports world today.
No, I mean, we had,
So-
the Eastern Conference Finals with LeBron getting blown
We ran
out.
all high school sports, in tonight's sports beat,
What's wrong with that?
which is great.
So
Yeah.
shout out to Waterford. Shout out to Desert Hills for
Desert
soccer
Hills.
championship in school history.
Who won between 3
Shout out to Judge Memorial. Although I know
Judge
that's a little
Memorial.
bit of a contentious state title right now with the small school people. So maybe not. Shout out to the Bulldogs.
Shout
but-
out to the baseball, 2A, 3A baseball.
Yeah, shout out to Grantsville.
Grantsville.
Shout out to Brody
Nelson
Aaron.
Bear?
So let me tell you a quick story about that real quick.
Can we backstory this?
So I shot that game, which was cool to watch.
If you're not
because-
following us on Twitter at KSL Sports, you probably don't understand that reference. So go watch that video on the Grantsville baseball title about Brody Aaron, and then here's the backstory
Right.
to it.
Okay, so like Sean said earlier in the show, I live in Tooele, so Grantsville is like really close by. So I was pretty stoked to be shooting that championship game. It was Grantsville Carbon. Grantsville came out with the win. The last pitcher to strike out the batter to end the game, his name's Coy Johnson. And after the game was over,
Shout out to Johnson's dad.
yeah, shout out to Johnson's dad, because after the game, I went to my car, and the Johnson family was loading up their car, parked right next to mine. The dad's like, hey, I saw you shooting. Where are you from? I gave him the spiel. He's like, hey, make sure you put my son on the show tonight, laughing. And he's like, yeah, I'm just kidding. He's like, yeah, but my son was the one that struck out the last out. That pitched that last out. And I was like, oh, that's definitely on the show. Like, we definitely cut that and put it in. And he gave me like a soda for the ride home, and he was really cool. And yeah, I tweeted at him the video of Rod doing the play-by-play, and he mentioned someone named Brody Aaron. There is no player named Brody Aaron that plays for Grantsville.
Which is even better.
It's hilarious because how I found out, I didn't even notice. How I found out was when I tweeted out the video, Coy Johnson's like, who the heck is Brody Aaron? And I was like, oh no, he meant Brady Arbin. Like, his teammate's name is Brady Arbin. Close. Yeah. But not necessarily. So
Rod's eyes sometimes get a little bit mixed up every now and then.
He's a well-seasoned
Shout out
vet.
to Rod. We love you.
He's a seasoned vet, man.
But he's definitely a seasoned vet.
So yeah, anyways, that's how that story goes.
Yeah. Names happen. Live television happens. Sorry to our friend Brody Aaron.
We did run the story again, and he did say the names right tonight. So that's great.
Yeah. But Brody Aaron, friend of the podcast, you'll have a spot on the After Hours pod anytime you want to come in here.
For sure, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Make it out. So shouts to all the champions this past weekend. We got more coming up this week,
and the next week.
And then even more once football season heads around and the sports.
Let's get through summer first, guys.
Yeah.
Yep. We got a long grind for the summer for sure.
Yeah. On that note, let's wrap up another edition of the KSL Sportsbeat After Hours podcast. I'm the one and only internet Jesus, Sean Walker. He's Hema Hemuli.
Junior. Sweep the leg.
Zach Hicken. Resident Canuck.
Tim Hortons.
Hey.
Let's go get some Timmy Hose.
Let's go.